What's up, Elias?
Hey, Elko.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, here.
Good, good. So yeah, we're here, sitting outside the office. You're producing music now for a while. I want to ask you, like, you're always sitting there in your room, doing the music thing. Like, what is the point about music? Like, what inspires you to sit there every day and do your thing? You know?
To make something beautiful and share it with other people, and it's quite egotistical in a way, because you are held accountable for that beauty, and that's a great feeling to see people like react in like all sorts of crazy ways because you did something that's like, whoa man, that's fucking awesome. But then it's also extremely nice from a personal point of view to see people enjoy themselves that much and kind of experience even like different feelings and emotions, right? So I think that's probably the best part about producing music, that you're an engineer of emotions. So by getting together all those blips and blobs and those different sounds, and you kind of like, or like an alchemist if you want, and you cook this end product that then hopefully kind of carves out a completely new emotion. That is maybe a mix of other emotions, maybe like some sort of like melancholy, but then also this extreme joy, and then maybe some sort of doubt, and like, it's kind of like cooking. It's kind of like all of that. But that's what the end product does. Now, how you get to that point, at least the way I see it, is like being some sort of sculptor. So you have like a rock there. And then you start kind of like carving out a certain shape.
What is the rock, like in this analogy?
The rock is like
an idea, or
it's basic ingredients of what you have. So it's your drums, it's your bass, it's your atmospheres, it's your pads, it's your whatever. So you throw all of that out on the table, right? And it's like a big formless thing, but it is a certain type of material. Like the rock is, the rock could be marble, it could be granite, it could be anything, right? So in the same way, you have like a certain initial quality that you want to kind of like develop on, and then you start like scraping and shaping, and then maybe adding something on top. So when you have like that kind of like next level product, like a beta product, if you will, then you start kind of like testing it with people, and then adding those like little
tweaking
details.
Refining.
Yeah. And how the driver of all that is a gut feeling, right? It's an emotion that the sound elicits.
I see.
In you. So and the combination, the story that and hopefully you get to feel like, by listening to that thing, at least for the first time, you get to feel something that you have never felt before. That's the whole meaning of producing music.
So what is that for you, the happy part, when you feel that feeling, or when you see other people feel that feeling?
A lot more when I feel that feeling, because I'm like, wow, I discovered a new feeling. That's great.
So once you hit that point of zero, or whatever that point is, where you just like achieve what you felt you wanted to achieve.
Yeah. And then it's also great to like, share it with other people, of course. But the highest point is when when you manage to feel something that you've never felt before, just by creating music. It's pretty cool. But then there also come like these other parts of producing music, which is making a living out of it, which involves a lot of travel. It involves a lot of time away from your like friends and family and whatever. It involves a lot, because the music industry is not the most efficient or like cleanest or whatever industry.
So you have to spend a lot of time with people that maybe you would want to spend time with.
Yeah. And like, the business deals that you do is not like you do a business deal like you do in daylight, right?
Yeah.
You have to do with people that did not choose daylight for, I don't know. But
so how do you, that's interesting, like how do you how do you approach that? Like, how do you approach this business deal? Is it just you're backstage with a bunch of people? People are a bit like fucked in a sense, and you're just like trying to make friends there, trying to drop your name. Is it like that, or how should I?
That's usually the way it happens, you know. And like, you know, after parties, this is where all the kind of like
networking things happen.
Yes, because you meet during the party and then you hang out at the after party, and yeah, that's how it should be, right? But then that means that you need
to participate.
You have to participate in that whole
need to
dance.
make fun. Yeah.
You know,
okay.
You need to be fun, you need to be this and that needs to take place like 6 a.m. onwards.
Yeah.
And at a continuous basis as well.
It's tough, man.
It's really tough, man. It's really tough, and it's like, I'm not sure if it's even worth
doing it.
Yes.
Well, wouldn't there be a way to just avoid that? Like, just to say...
just make fantastic music.
Yeah, just to say, I'm not gonna take part in that stuff and just
Nicholas
make
Jar does that. He's like that. He used to be, he started like, at least the way I perceive it, from a circle of people that were like so much into the party scene, right? And that's who he got associated with first, and that's how his name got out first. But then quickly, when he like saw that he
got
could,
a name
like,
and like
he got a name for himself, he just withdrew completely, you know, and he like dissociated himself. Yeah. So he was like, from what I know, he was hanging out at the Marcy Hotel in New York, where like, you know, Wolf and Lamb and Seth Troxler and Vision Quest and these guys who are like, you know, famous party animals and stuff, were hanging out, and he was playing music there, and he was part of that crew and so on, right? And I think he put out a record on their record label as well, like early on. But then as soon as he made a name for himself, you stop hearing about that shit, and you stopped hearing like music that sounds like their music. You started hearing a different Nicholas Jar, more like you know, gig-oriented Nicholas Jar, and more, you know, theater or big performance-oriented Nicholas Jar, not a DJ,
not the party guy,
right? And you know, and that's great for him, and he has like immense amounts of talent, and yeah, but like for me, for example, I don't know if I have that kind of talent, you know, to like be able to kind of perform live and do that kind of stuff. Yeah, it'd be great, but like there are other great things in life as well, like, you know, teaching people is cool. Building businesses and like, you know, solving real world problems, that's also really cool, because it is a form of escapism, you know, the whole music thing, you know, you're escaping from something, but then
you're in a bubble,
yeah, and it's unfair.
Even if it goes well or if it goes wrong, you're always kind of in a good bubble, in a positive bubble, or in a
negative bubble, but it is a bubble, and
you're always
not
in a bubble.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, you might claim that you have like, you know, yeah, but your music inspires people and it has like a real, but that it's not real enough, you know. I could be inspired by anything, like, you know, there's 1,000 things, and music is a distraction. It is an inspiration, and it's a beautiful distraction, but it is a distraction, right? It's not solving any real world problems, and like, you know, coming from a place that has shitloads of problems.
Greece.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that like, hey man, like, you know, you have all those other skills that you're not really using, and like, okay, you did it, you know, you progressed in that, and you started seeing how it would be like. And then would you like to be like a 35-year-old dad having to go to Burning Man to party and leaving your kids behind because you gotta make people happy partying and like, you know, taking drugs? No, I don't want to be that guy. I really don't want to be that guy.
Fair question. Have you found the answer yet to how you're gonna...
No, I haven't found the answer of how I'm going to get there. But one thing life has taught me is that I will. Good.
Well, let's see, you know.
Let's see.
Be hopeful and optimistic.
Let's see.
But I mean, so far, you've done some good things. So
yeah, things are going well, man. Things are going well.
Cool. This is Elias signing off.
Peace out, kids.